I'm rebuilding myself as a man. Um, and I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that, but um, I've been kind of going through a lot of tumultuous uh, stuff lately. Um, I think it's basically I have been needing to destroy completely the individual who I used to be. And I need to completely and entirely rebuild myself back up to be something different. I don't know if people are going to like the new version. I also don't care. Because the suffering that I have endured being the person who I was, as long as that is over, I don't really care about what anybody else thinks. In fact, that actually leads me to my point about rebuilding myself and exactly what I mean by that. But there's people who like you. There's people who fear you. And there's people who respect you. If I'm going to be completely honest, when we talk about whether people like you or not, you can get into the weeds. The nuance gets pretty crazy. To be liked, a lot of times you think you're liked and you're not really liked. People would turn on you on a dime because what they like you for changes. The things they like change. And as the things that they like change, you can easily become something they dislike very quickly. Fear requires power, which is why so many people want to have it. People who find themselves in difficult situations where they're not liked want to replace that fake value, is what I'll call it, or using a stock term, we'll call it theta. It's essentially theta, which is basically the term when you buy an option that basically says that this doesn't have any value. The only value it has is the time that you have this option. And as the time ticks down, that option becomes worthless, right? That's kind of exactly what being liked is. It's theta. So people who either struggle with being liked by people, or they either struggle getting people to like them, okay, or they realize there's no value in being liked. Either way, a lot of people seek power because they want to be feared. And what I realize is that fear and being feared has no longevity. Being liked is inconsistent. What are we all looking for with everything? We're looking for longevity and consistency. Everybody's looking for that. Every single human being walking the planet is looking for longevity and consistency. Because that's the only thing that's true. Anything that can be consistent over long periods of time, that is what true is. Because if it were false or hypocritical, it wouldn't last long and it wouldn't remain consistent. So where do you get that consistency and that long-term consistency? Well, you get it from respect. And that's what I want to talk about rebuilding myself as a man, is I've been liked. by many people, by thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. I've toured the country. I performed on stages in front of people. I had a record deal in the early 2000s. And in the early 90s or late 90s, while I was doing a lot of the fascinating things I did in my music career, we didn't have the internet like we do now. So a lot of people don't know about a lot of those things, and that's fine. I'm not here to prove what I did in my past to anybody. But I've been liked. I performed on stages in front of thousands of people. I've had fans write me messages about how much they were obsessed with my music. I've been liked, and in some cases loved, right? And I'll tell you, I've also been feared. Not because I'm some Billy badass who could walk around and beat everybody up, but because I had such a knack for being so abruptly honest and real and true with my words. And I've always been aggressive. I've never been somebody that is, passive aggressive. I've always been aggressive. And I also rolled in certain circles where certain people who I took care of that were dangerous were willing to do dangerous things for me. So in a way, in a small way, especially in the city I grew up in the areas and the regions I lived in, I amassed on a small scale a level of power enough to be feared by certain people. But again, didn't last. It didn't last. And neither did being loved or being liked. Because what I've realized is that the only thing that would last is respect. And despite having been liked and loved, and despite having even been feared, I've never been respected. That's a real harsh reality to admit. But I've never been respected. And for a long time, it bothered me. It bothered me, and I was like, how can I get respect? What is wrong with me? Why do people, the people that like me would take advantage of me. The people that loved me would take even more advantage of me, and then sometimes hurt me beyond belief and disrespect me. Women that I was dating that claimed to love me would shout at me in public places, slap me, be disrespectful, go hang out with other men, go dancing on other men. And it was a harsh reality for me, but I was like, I've really woken up lately to the realization that I am not respected. Girls pretend to care about me so they can use me for my money. Friends trying to use me for my money. Or even something like this, right? If I were to really break it down even more succinctly, is I started a business, okay? That business has now grown to do substantially well. It's a multi-million-dollar company, and a nationally recognized brand now. And by doing that, you'd think I'd have a little bit of knowledge about business. But if I get into a room with people who claim to be my friend, and I start talking to them about business, they'll start talking to me in a way that makes me feel like as if they're the teacher and I'm the student. Like people who have nothing, friends of mine that have never built anything, never made a successful business, never did anything, they will sit there and literally talk to me like they're the wise ones. Like, no. Here's what you need to understand. Here's what you need to do. And I'm like, why? Why is it that you can't see the amazing accomplishments that I've achieved? I have an award-winning film director. I made a movie that won awards. I went to Cannes Film Festival. I created a multi-million-dollar business. I got a multi-million-dollar record deal from being homeless on the streets. And time after time after time, I achieved these insane accomplishments. And yet the people that are around me continue to speak in a manner like as if I still don't know what I'm doing and I need their tutelage. And it really bugged me. And I was like, why is this happening? Why in the world do they not how can they not see that I'm a little knowledgeable about this, that I've done? And this is what it comes down to, is it comes down to I am not respected. And that's a big problem for me. That's a big, big problem for me, because I've been going about life the wrong way. I've been spending my whole life complaining about being disrespected rather than looking into why I'm being disrespected. I'm going to say that one more time for those in the back. I have spent my whole life complaining about being disrespected rather than looking into why I'm always being disrespected. And when you look under the hood, you find some things. You find some things. What I realized is that I don't respect myself. I don't respect myself. And I haven't respected myself for a very long time. And that showed in a lot of actions. That showed in a lot of ways. And before I get into explaining what those things are, I want to talk about why it happened, or how I became somebody that had no respect for himself. When I was younger, and my mother was a criminal, prostitute, drug addict, in and out of jail, running prostitute rings, drug rings out of the apartments we grew up in, efficiencies, trailers in the slums. My mother was selling crack and cocaine and methamphetamine out of trailers. She was letting people have sex for money in her house and taking a cut because they used her efficiency apartment that was being paid for by government taxpayers. Because we were living off the city, the system, collecting foods. I mean, living in this life, it was tumultuous. But what I can say unequivocally is my mother loved me. Oh boy, there's no doubt about that. My mother absolutely loved me. And there's a lot of people in the world that I talk to and become friends with that envy that. They say, man, I wish I would have had the love that your mother had. I wish I would have had the love that your mother had for you. I wish my mom would have loved me like that. But here's the thing. Yeah, my mother loved me. She definitely liked me. And I definitely feared her. That is for sure. She didn't fear me, but I feared her. Because my mother was one tough egg. I mean, she was 5'11". For a woman, that's crazy, right? 5'11", and she was a thick, Amazonian-built woman, and she could fight, and I seen her beat dudes up. Throw guys through windows and bars. I mean, my mom was no joke. Feminine, but also brutal. She would wear lipstick and do her hair and do her nails and be pretty and smell like perfume, but then go to a bar and beat the ever-loving crap out of some guy who put his hand on her butt when she didn't want him to. She was a dichotomy. But what my mother didn't teach me is how to respect myself. In fact, quite the contrary, what she taught me was to love her unconditionally, no matter how much disrespect I received. And to not respect myself and be willing to endure horrible things and love her anyways. And because of that, I went about my entire life surrounding myself with people that repeatedly disrespected me. Over and over and over again, because I didn't value it. I didn't value the respect because I was raised in an environment where I was taught it's all about love. And it's all about do people like you? Great, you're popular. You have lots of friends. Do you have a girl that loves you? That's all that matters. Are they loyal to you? Loyalty and things like that. That was beat into my head. That no matter how much disrespect I had to endure, I needed to remain loyal. And that led me down so many wrong paths in this life that it's not even funny. And I started realizing these women who are using me, they're not using me. I'm using them to use me. I'm literally allowing them to use me. I'm sitting there going, I don't care if you disrespect me. Just tell me you love me. Tell me you like me. Validate me. Give me validation. And that's what my mother was great at. You're going to be anything you want when you grow up. You're amazing. You're talented. Oh, you're amazing. I draw something. I was the greatest artist in the world. I sang something. I was the greatest singer in the world. I rapped something. I was the greatest rapper in the world. My mother was very validating. But the validation was there to disguise the disrespect. And how was she disrespecting me? She was disrespecting me by raising a child in an environment where people are smoking crack and methamphetamine and doing cocaine. She was disrespecting me by allowing women off the street to come have sex with men for money right in front of me when I was a kid. And that's disrespectful. But I looked past the disrespect because I was being validated with the love and the likes. And so that's what I chased. I was a little entertainment monkey. Hey, Mom, look at me. I could rap. Oh, my God, you're amazing. Every time people would come over, get up and rap for these people. Rap in front of these people. And that's what I would do over and over and over again. And the attention and the validation was like a drug. And so I decided to go about my life working with people like Seth Binzer of Crazy Town. He fit the bill perfectly. Here's another guy, that total drug addict, total issues, totally dysfunctional. First night I ever stayed at Seth's house, he had just taken me off the streets, moved me into his place, and told me I was going to write songs for him in Hollywood. And the very first night we go out, I met a girl. He took her by the hand. After I bought this girl drinks all night, took her back to the place, totally my chick. I was talking to her all night. He didn't even speak 2 words to her. Soon as we get to the parking garage, he grabs her hand and walks her into the house, walks her into the bedroom, and hooks up with her. Right then and there, I should have been like, fuck this guy. You really just disrespected me like this? But I didn't. The next day, he came out, he smiled. He actually came in from Starbucks with coffees and another girl that he picked up from the coffee shop. I woke up, he already had another girl. He not only slept with that girl, but by the time I woke up, he had already picked up another girl from Starbucks. He was just, the player of all players. And when I confronted him, hey, man, what the heck, man? I brought that girl here last night. You take her in the room and you hook up with her. Like, what is that? What is that? He smiled. You just got to be a little quicker next time, bro. This is LA, bro. Blah, blah, blah. And I looked past it. Because he would tell me every day that I was the greatest songwriter he ever met. He would tell me every day that I was the most talented person he's ever known. And so because I got validation repeatedly, one right after the other, I would continue to build relationships with people who disrespected me, as long as they cashed in on that validation. And I had made a contract, whether I knew it or not, whether conscious or unconscious, I had made a contract with every individual that I met in life saying, validate my existence, and it's okay to disrespect me. And that's what I learned behavior from my mother. And what I'm telling you here today is that I have realized that I no longer want to be liked. There's no value in it. People change their mind about you when the wind blows. I mean, we see it time and time again. A celebrity, Drake went from being the most beloved rapper in the world to overnight he was a child assaulter. And everybody was just, shouting that for months. We see it happen all the time. All it takes is for one bad news story, one bad video footage of you at a concert, doing one bad thing, and everyone hates you. There's no validation, or there's no value in being liked. There's no value in being feared. Because every guy thinks he's a tough guy till he runs into one. There's always somebody that has more power than you. So that doesn't really have any value either. And it definitely has no longevity. What I realize has value is respect. And I also realize that I have not been getting any. And so let's look at why. When we talk about the fact that I don't respect myself, I've never worked out. I've always avoided going to the gym. I was always after the money. So throughout my life, I get up, I'm not really in shape. I don't have the, physicality. And then, of course, with success, I've gotten money. I've eaten well. I gained weight. I don't look healthy. I walk around. I'm not like taking care of myself. So right away, I'm disrespecting myself in that way. But then we go past that, allowing the women who take advantage of me to be around me to, with the verbal contract that they could just validate me and get whatever they want. I'm disrespecting myself. I'm not respecting myself as a man. Hanging around people that want to borrow money all the time, take advantage of me, try to get something from me all the time. They want to hook up or they want to network. I'm bringing that around because I don't respect myself. And I've been allowing it over and over and over again for the trade of validation. And I'm not doing it anymore. So when I say that I'm rebuilding myself as a man, what I'm doing is I'm taking complete accountability of everything that I just said. And I realize that for my business to become more successful, for me to be able to find women that desire me for who I am rather than for what I can do for them, for my ability to get on here and be successful podcasting in front of you people every single day, for my ability to live long, be a good father to my son, allow myself to be healthy and have the right physicality, I need to have discipline. That's number one, most important. I need to have consistency. That's right there as well. And I need to be committed. I need to be committed to this podcast, to my business, to my health and well-being. I need to be committed to my success. And I could be committed to those things through discipline and consistency. Long-term consistency. I'm on 3 days right now. I'm on day 3 where I have not eaten, not a single thing. I have put nothing in my body but water. That's not true. I did have a pickle yesterday because I needed the sodium, because you can't fast without at least putting some form of sodium in your body. It can be detrimental to your heart. It's all about the potassium magnesium balance. But I'm on my journey. I've started on my journey where I am going to get healthy. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do everything that I need to do. Now, I'm not coming on here to talk about it, to announce it, like, hey, everybody, this is what I plan to do, because I don't care anymore. Because seeking validation means so fucking little to me now, dude. It means so little. I don't give a fuck about approval. I'm not doing anything for anyone's fucking, I don't care. I'm thinking differently now. I want respect. You can keep the validation. And for me to get respect, I need to look like I respect myself. I need to behave like I respect myself. If you're a sleazy woman walking around strutting your stuff and you look like you come easy, I would be disrespecting myself to even have anything to do with you. I don't want that. If you're educated, you take care of yourself, you have white teeth, you read, you're intelligent and you're smart, and you have great conversation, and you've taken care of yourself where your body looks decent, you have a great pair of legs, well, now we can talk. You're somebody that I feel like by talking to you, I would be respecting myself. Because that's what it is from now on. I don't care about the compliments. I don't care about the validation. I'm not looking for that anymore. You can have it. You can keep it. In fact, you can hate me. You can be mad at me because I told you something you didn't want to hear. You can be mad at me because I'm not making time for you. You can be mad at me because I have to go to the gym rather than hang out with you. You could be mad at me because I have to go run my company rather than sit around and talk about bullshit with you all day. You could be mad at me. I don't care. You can hate me and you can be mad at me for all these things because it does not matter. Whether you hate me or whether you like me, whether you feel, whether you feel like complimenting me or whether you feel like insulting me, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference because it is now that I'm going to break down, and I have been breaking down the old me and rebuilding the new me that has boundaries. The new me that demands respect. I respect myself, and now I demand for those to respect me. However, I'm not going to need to demand respect. Because one thing that I've learned about respect is that if I conduct myself in a way that shows that I respect myself, people will respect me because they'll have no choice. Because what is true is consistent in the long term. And so if I break down this person who I used to be and rebuild myself up to this new person that I intend to be, it's for the long term. It's discipline and commitment and consistency for the long term. And in the end, you have to respect that. Everybody does. It's why we respect Tom Brady. We don't like Tom Brady. We don't love Tom Brady, and we don't fear Tom Brady. We respect Tom Brady. Because day in and day out, he takes care of his health. He takes care of his wellness, his physicality. He looks in great shape. And when he made commitments, he kept them. And for 20-something years, he won title after title, championship after championship. He was relied on to win because he was consistent in the long term. Patrick Mahomes, 10 years, not a bad run. But he would have to double that to be on Tom Brady's level. Because longevity, long-term consistency is what garners respect. It's the truth. Rob Reiner, who was recently murdered allegedly by his son. He hasn't had his day in court yet, so I'll say allegedly. Rob Reiner is another guy. Long-term consistency. Been fighting the same war, fighting the same political battles, never changed his views, never changed the way he thinks. For all these decades, made countless successful movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie. So sure, did he get rich? Yeah, we all know Rob Reiner had millions and millions of dollars. Some people liked him, some people didn't. We know Trump didn't, right? With that recent comment he made. We know he didn't like him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you liked him or if you don't like him. It doesn't matter. Because someone who made movie after movie after movie and show after show and movie after movie with success after success, who achieved wealth, who never wavered on his views, whether you agreed with him or not, you have to respect it. And that's where Trump fucked up, because when he made that statement roasting Rob Reiner, the reason why a lot of Republicans and even MAGA people got mad about it is because whether we like it or not, Rob Reiner had the discipline, the commitment, and the long-term consistency that garnered respect. And what Trump did was disrespecting someone who garnered respect. You want to talk smack about some idiot college kid with green hair because they're shouting around on TikTok? They've done nothing to earn respect. And that's why nobody cared. If you want to talk about liberals, this and that, blah, 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 and group people in groups. But when you insult somebody who people have no choice but to respect, that's where you fucked up. And that's what I want. And that's what I'm here to do. I told you guys I will be here every day doing this podcast, and I will be here every day. I told you guys that I was going to get a record deal when I was homeless on the streets, and I did. One of the largest in history until Lil Wayne beat it years later. You could look that up. It was in Billboard magazine. I told you guys that I was going to make a movie, and I did. And it became an award-winning film. And the actor that was in that film went on to have amazing success and continues to become even more successful with each passing day. I told you guys that I would go off and start my own company, and I would build this empire that I've built with Food and Travel magazine, and I did. I told people before that magazine was in stores who doubted me and said, oh, all you do is sell advertising, a digital magazine, blah, blah, blah. It's never going to be in print. Yeah, guess what? In stores nationwide right now. Everything I've ever said I was going to do, I have done. Everything. My views have never wavered either. I've always been consistent with my message. So when I look at my life and I wonder, where does the disrespect come from? It's because even though I had those things right, I had other things wrong. And those other things that were wrong allowed me to trade, to receive validation for a lack of respect. And understanding that now, I'm changing that now. And I plan on coming here every day and doing this podcast. I plan on running this company, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. This magazine. I told you guys a few days ago I was going to go on a fast. It'll be 72 hours by tonight. I get to eat finally tonight, and I'm looking forward to a salmon and some vegetables, no carbs. And I'm going to do everything that I need to do to lose some of this weight, and then I'm going to rebuild it back in the gym. I even bought all the gym equipment and converted my entire living room into a gym. This is me doing a step-by-step process to rebuilding myself as a man. Hopefully, you guys can like the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and follow along with the journey. Because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I look forward to having you guys come along with me. Thanks, I'm out.